Fine, I agree with it. The girls at the back were shocked. Sister Jiaran, all right, don't say anything. I have made up my mind. The bell rang. Song Jiaran stared at Zia Zibai, the look on her face somber and serious. I trust your words, so you'd better not deceive me. Of course. Zia Zibai nodded with a smile. After dismissal this evening, you could come find me. We can get it started today. Fine. Song Jiaran shot her a glance and then left with the girls on her heels. Watching their backs as they walked away, Zia Zibai's lips curled into a creepy smile. Looking at Zia Zibai, who was blocking her way, Song Jiaran's lips twitched. What do you really want? This meetup was totally different from what she had expected. She was thinking that if Zia Zibai were the other girlfriend of Yang Xuan, she would teach her a lesson. Who would have expected things to turn out this way? Most importantly, Zia Zibai wasn't planning to let her go now. Zia Zibai smilingly approached her and grabbed her wrist all of a sudden. What are you trying to do? The girls at the back panicked right away. Before they could rush forward, Zia Zibai spoke. You're losing sleep every night nowadays, aren't you? Song Jiaran was taken aback. How do you know that? By assessing your pulse, of course. Zia Zibai's smile remained unfaltering. But you get tired easily during the day, and your quality of sleep is still poor. Also, your heart palpitates often, and you're miserable when you're on your period. Am I right? Song Jiaran's eyes went very wide. How on earth do you know that? She had all the problems that were mentioned, but she had never told anyone about them. I told you, by assessing your pulse. Zia Zibai raised her brows, got close to her, and spoke softly in her ear. If this continues, it will probably affect your fertility. Affect her fertility? Song Jiaran's heart skipped a beat as she stared at the confident girl before her eyes with great disbelief. A thought occurred to her. She and Yang Xuan definitely weren't a couple. With Zia Zibai's current capabilities, Yang Xuan was no match for her. But put your mind at ease. If I help you lose weight, you can return to a normal weight in 3 months. Zia Zibai added. This astonished Song Jiaran even more. You're not lying to me. Why would I dare lie to you? Zia Zibai shrugged. You know my circumstances. If I lied to you, would I still be here today? That was true though. There was a whole world of difference between Zia Zibai and Song Jiaran, like the heaven and the earth. Song Jiaran had numerous ways to get rid of her. As long as Zia Zibai wasn't a fool, she wouldn't dare mess around with her. So you have the confidence to help me lose weight? As she spoke the words, Song Jiaran's heart pounded wildly in her chest. Of course, Zia Zibai was firm and resolute. If I'm not confident in the first place, why would I even pull you over? And I guarantee there will be no side effects. Losing weight without any side effects. Song Jiaran was moved. Fine, I agree with it. The girls at the back were shocked. Sister Jiaran, all right, don't say anything. I have made up my mind. The bell rang. Song Jiaran stared at Zia Zibai, the look on her face somber and serious. I trust your words, so you'd better not deceive me. Of course. Zia Zibai nodded with a smile. After dismissal this evening, you could come find me. We can get it started today. Fine. Song Jiaran shot her a glance and then left with the girls on her heels. Watching their backs as they walked away, Zia Zibai's lips curled into a creepy smile. Yang Xuan, let us wait and see. The reason Zia Zibai hadn't gotten her hands on Yang Xuan was because of Song Jiaran's presence. Sure enough, she could carry out her plans for him directly, but if it provoked Song Jiaran, it wouldn't serve her any benefits. She didn't want to make too many foes. The reason Song Jiaran liked Yang Xuan was because Yang Xuan would put up a loving and caring front when he was with her, and he didn't despise her appearance. Song Jiaran might not be aware of it, but she was unable to give up on Yang Xuan because of how well he was treating her. However, if Zia Zibai succeeded in helping her lose weight, more options would open up to her. By then, it wouldn't be easy for Yang Xuan to meddle with her anymore. When Zia Zibai returned to the classroom, the class had begun. She reported her presence before entering. Once she took her seat, Tang Luo looked over at her with a frown. Are you all right? I heard that you were blocked by Song Jiaran at the washroom. He heard about the matter just a while ago, and was prepared to go out when Zia Zibai returned. I'm fine. It was just a misunderstanding. Zia Zibai shook her head. Song Jiaran is quite a nice person. Tang Luo's lips twitched. How did she even come to the conclusion that Song Jiaran was quite a nice person? It's great that you're fine. Let's focus on the lesson. Zia Zibai nodded and then hung her head low to read. Moments later, she turned around. All of a sudden, Jin Yazan gasped so loud that it drew the teacher's attention. Jin Yazan, what are you doing? The teacher was wearing an awful look on her face. She was in the midst of teaching intently when she got interrupted. Who wouldn't get mad at that? Not nothing. Jin Yazan smiled stiffly. When Zia Zibai returned, she couldn't identify anything wrong with her, rousing her suspicion. With Song Jiaran's character, how could Zia Zibai get out of it totally unscathed? She had been staring at Zia Zibai. When she turned around the next instant, she was jolted for a second, thus the exaggerated reaction. Really? The teacher snorted with a glum face. Answer this question then. Jin Yazan's face grew even stiffer as she read the question on the blackboard. All of her thoughts were focused on Zia Zibai today. How would she even know what the teacher was talking about? She stood on her spot, stammering for a long time, but to no avail. The teacher had no choice but to let her sit down. Even though you guys are only in sophomore year, you're going to be in senior year the next semester. It's time you focus on your studies. Although her words weren't exactly harsh, Jin Yazan got so embarrassed that her face and ears turned red. The looks that people gave her made her even more uneasy, and all Zia Zibai did was flash her a creepy smile. Jin Yazan was frightened by Zia Zibai's strange smile, but she managed to hold herself back from screaming. What was the matter with Zia Zibai? Why was she so different today? The class finally ended. Jin Yazan approached Zia Zibai again. Zibai, have you decided to pay me back? Zia Zibai spoke before she could even say a word. The look on Jin Yazan's face turned even more awful when she heard those words. It wasn't me who borrowed the money, she panicked. Although you didn't, the two of you spent it together anyway, right? Zia Zibai stared at her with a poker face. Jin Yazan's heart raced. How did Zia Zibai know that? Zibai, you have misunderstood. Do you have the guts to take a vow then? If you really did spend the money, you will be struck by lightning and die a painful death. Jin Yazan froze. Jin Yazan, don't fool Zia Zibai as though she's a 3-year-old, will you? Tang Luo couldn't hold it back any longer. He teased. You can't be a B*TCH while trying to maintain a good reputation. As a person, you must live by conscience. Zia Zibai has been good to you all along. Others joined the fuss. Right, you can't be that shameless. I did not. Jin Yazan got more nervous, but she couldn't find a way to explain herself in the heat of the moment. She was usually eloquent, but in the face of Zia Zibai, who had turned into a whole new person, she was helpless. Fine, if you're not going to pay me back, don't talk to me anymore. I'm busy. Zia Zibai turned around and left right after she finished speaking. She had to go look for herbs. The treatment for Song Jiaran would begin tonight, and she was a big client. Once she was out of the school compound, Zia Zibai got on a bus. Very soon, she arrived at a herb store.